Heidi Benjaminson, your host of Confidence Coaching, a podcast for mothers who want to stay calm and anchored during the teenage years. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to episode 171, my favorite thoughts for 2023. I'm so glad you're here and giving me a few minutes of your day. I really appreciate my listeners. Now, every year since I started my podcast, I've ended the year with an episode where I share key thoughts and beliefs that got me through the year or represented emotional anchoring and resilience through my past year. This is the fifth such episode, y'all. This is the beginning-ish of the fifth year of this podcast. I'm really excited for the things that I have prepared to share with you this upcoming year. But for a moment, I want to reflect and share with you mental and emotional anchors that got me through this year. So here is the 2023 edition. Let me say, as I look back on this year, I'm tired. This year was monumental for me, for my family. We moved into a new home at the beginning of the year. Started digging for a pool immediately. A lot of trips with my girlfriends. Children coming and going from college. Preparing one for a mission. Helping a special niece prepare for her mission. Grieving the loss of my mother-in-law. Health challenges with my parents, all while keeping our home base anchored and calm. And I know y'all are doing a lot of the same things. My family, we are not the same family we were a year ago, and in a good way. My travel bags have gotten a lot of miles on them, and I am so proud of how I've handled this without making whirlwinds of chaos of anything. Throughout all of this, I've prioritized taking care of myself, and I've said no to a lot of other things. Because this year has been a year of saying yes to some very special things. This year included many milestones for me and my children, and my goal has been to be very present, to really experience fully the emotions of everything going on. At one point a few months ago, it was almost overwhelming in a good way. I felt I was exploding in joy and happiness and gratitude with some sadness and grief mixed in. I cannot imagine not having these coaching and mindset tools to get me to stay in my lane and be present and able to anchor those around me. So the first thought or mindset tool I want to share with you that got me through this year, especially moving into a new house, was the tool of paying attention to the trailing thoughts. Now, I go over this in episode 146, which I will link to. Definitely listen to that episode. The weekend we settled on our house and started moving in, it was just a weekend, a cascade of deliveries. It was a lot. We bought our house on a Friday and had a very busy weekend of deliveries and then moving out of our Airbnb. But our storage unit of boxes was delivered on Monday. We had everything put in the garage except for the little furniture that we had in storage, which just really wasn't that much. And Monday morning, everything's delivered, and Monday night, my husband has to travel for work. So the garage is full of boxes that have to be put away. My daughter is in school, and it's just me for 4 days. I really had to pay attention to what I thought after I would be thinking, oh my, Bill is leaving town. Oh my, I have to do this all alone, or whatever else was going through my head. Those thoughts were not what would make me stressed or calm. It was what I would think after that. The invisible trailing thoughts after those thoughts were, and this is okay, and there is no rush. So I would think, Bill is out of town, and that is okay. I'm actually so grateful for everything that he does do, which is a lot. I have so much to do, and there is no rush, and so on. I reminded myself we were finally at the finish line. We made it. We were in our house. Yes, so many boxes, and it was okay. I used those trailing thoughts, and this is okay, and I can handle this, and there is no rush to remove stress. I use those thoughts to be the agent of the situation, not the victim of the boxes or the work schedule. I continued this through the spring as my daughter's bed was delayed a month, and especially as our back and side yard were a disaster from pool building. It was a disaster, and it was okay. I saw the messy garage, the messy backyard for months. I saw these as necessary landmarks on the road to the destination we wanted to get to. They were okay. I didn't need to be mad at them. I didn't need to give the boxes or the dirt any power. I wasn't the victim of them. I knew this would all pass. Being very conscious of those invisible trailing thoughts were what would create peace and calm or stress and overwhelm. Being very conscious of those invisible trailing thoughts and what they were, and if I wanted to create peace and calm or stress and overwhelm, I knew that was what was going to keep me afloat. I remembered what privileged problems these were to have. Okay, the second thought that has carried me through a very emotional year has been the belief that I can feel two things at once. I can make space in my heart to feel great joy and also great grief. That I can be incredibly happy and incredibly sad, even about the same situation. As we launch our kids into the world, be it college, missions, marriage, jobs, etc., we feel this duality more and more. This year, I've challenged myself not to need to fixate on just feeling one thing. I've challenged myself to really feel just the bittersweet emotions. Helping one of my sons prepare to be away for 2 years and then taking him to his training center and saying goodbye was the definition of bittersweet. And then talking to him each week, I feel great pangs of joy, pride, and also deep longing and missing him. As our children become individuals with their unique and individual lives, if we do this parenting right, we're going to launch emotionally independent adults who will lead their lives. Yes, we want them to come home, maybe live near us one day, who knows? This separation is so necessary and bittersweet. As I spent months helping a special niece prepare for her mission, I was put in a few situations where I felt astounding grief for the loss of her mother and also equally exploding joy and happiness for her. At moments, it was almost overwhelming, and I would then feel like I had almost an emotional hangover after. Instead of thinking I couldn't handle it, I just felt it. I gave myself time and space to be in my body, to ask where I felt it, to name the emotions, to feel the sensations in my arms, torso, heart, to cry when needed, to be a human with an enormous range of emotions. I felt like I was on a controlled roller coaster. I didn't think the emotions were in control. I stayed in control. Yet I also watched the energy move through me. I let the duality of being a human reside in me at the same time. This may not make a lot of sense to you, but in the profound moments, sit and let yourself just feel all the feelings. Don't feel the need to be pinned down to just one emotion. Let your body be the container for all of the energy and honor that you're alive and able to feel it. Be okay feeling good and bad, highs and lows at the same time. I believe being able to do this has been one of the most anchoring tools to keep my nervous system regulated and in control with all of these highs and lows. I've always quickly been able to come back to my calm center when needed. Okay, the third thought that has become almost a daily mantra, a thought that keeps me in my lane when I start to ruminate on what others are doing, or I find myself wondering how my children will solve problems or such, or maybe I'm starting to judge how someone else is handling their life. My mantra is, this isn't my problem to deal with, or this isn't my problem to solve, or even it'll be so interesting to see how they handle that. It's hard to release things that we've always been dealing with regarding our children and knowing they need to learn how to handle real life, grow up in certain situations themselves. It's very hard for me to not take action, but that's exactly what I have to learn to do so my children do take action for themselves. I caught myself a month or so ago wondering about one of my son's finances, if he had money to do what he needed, and I reminded myself, this is his problem to solve. There isn't even a problem, and if there is, I'm not in charge. Taking action when my children should take action projects insecurity to them, and I don't want to do that. Where it isn't my space to lead, I'm willing to stand back, and almost every single time I make space, my children step up and take the lead. I have to let them lead in their own way, in their timing, and the only way to do that is to let them have that space. By allowing them to be the lead in solving problems, remarkably, they will approach me or my husband when and if they need advice. They only do this when we've kept our mouths shut at the beginning. It's hard. Oh my, is it hard? But it's so worth it. And we've already seen some of the great rewards of doing that. I can only do this, I can only stay in my lane when I mentally put problems or perceived problems back in their lane and remind myself my problem and my job is to be patient and that I have to work on not taking action. When we hear about less than ideal situations our son is in Mexico, challenges, I have to remind myself this is his problem to solve and I don't have a problem. None of this is to be insensitive or lacking compassion. I can be super compassionate and caring and not project worry. These thoughts keep me calm. They keep my mind from spinning in or trying to solve something that isn't mine to solve. Often I'll tell myself they will learn so much by how they solve this problem. I tell myself that I need to get anchored back with confidence for everyone else to handle their life and calm for me to not spend mental or physical energy trying to be in other people's business because that doesn't help them or me. I hope this has been helpful. Next year, I am revamping my Sunday emails, my Sunday Sunshines. If you want to be on my email list, please send a DM or sign up on HeidiBenjaminson.com. I'm so excited to share with you new tools to keep your nervous system anchored, to know when to use mental, cognitive tools, and when to use body sensing and regulating tools. Our family grows and learns when they see us being the example. Our calm emotions can help regulate their emotions. That's it for this week. If you would like more emotional calm and control in your life, sign up for a consult call at HeidiBenjaminson.com or DM me on social media. Your example will change your family. A confident mother is the greatest gift to her family, not a perfect mother. Our families want us to feel confident, anchored, and calm. I can help you uncover this version of yourself. Have a great week.